Every book has major events that shape the progression of the story. In today's TED Talk, my colleague and I, Dakota, will be discussing the stories called Wuthering Heights and As I Lay Dying. These two stories have events that shape the characters and the plot. First off, we will be discussing Wuthering Heights.
The first incident that furthered the plot of Wuthering Heights was Heathcliff's arrival. With the arrival of Heathcliff, most of the characters have a difficult time trying to adapt to him. Hindley tended to be the most affected by Heathcliff's arrival because Mr. Earnshaw preferred the newcomer to his own son, even though Hindley inherited Wuthering Heights when Mr. Earnshaw passes away. This is ironic because later on in the story, Heathcliff buys Wuthering Heights from Hindley, who falls to a life of alcohol and depression. Heathcliff's arrival definitely stirs up Wuthering Heights and all the people residing there.
The marriage of Catherine and Edgar also furthers the plot of Wuthering Heights. The marriage between Catherine and Edgar steers Heathcliff into a demented life of nothing but cruelty and hatred towards everyone. Although Catherine is torn between choosing Edgar or Heathcliff, her decision to marry Edgar turns Heathcliff into a revenge-thirsty savage who creates conflict with the characters in Wuthering Heights. Irony is seen again in the story because Catherine wanted to marry Edgar for his riches and wealth. Little did she know, Heathcliff would eventually become wealthier than Edgar and end up having residency of Thrushcross Grange and Wuthering Heights.
Catherine's death is another significant event that furthers the plot of Wuthering Heights. Catherine's death is the pinnacle of all the plot-changing events in Wuthering Heights. The loss of Catherine means that all that conflict between her and Heathcliff cannot be resolved anymore, which causes Heathcliff to solely look at life in a negative way, only wanting to seek revenge on all that have wronged him. This leads to Heathcliff going back to Wuthering Heights and acting his revenge on the family. I would recommend reading this book because it shows that love is the strongest bond that can never be broken. I would not ban this book because it is a well-written piece of literature that should be read by high school students.
This concludes the discussion of Wuthering Heights, and now we will move on to As I Lay Dying. We will start with a brief introduction of the two characters, Darrell and Addie, and follow this with a short skit produced by me and my colleague, Dakota.
Like fire.
My name's Addie and I'm dead.
Many books have major events that change characters or further the plot. In As I Lay Dying, the characters change throughout the story because of Addie's death, the dropping of Addie's coffin into the river, and Darrell's attempt at burying the body.
Addie's death changes the character of Aunts, her husband, because instead of being saddened, he is excited that he can get his new teeth. Aunt says, "But now I can get them teeth, that will be a comfort." It will. Aunt's desire for the new set of teeth brings out the darkness in his character and also changes him because he only wants to go to Jefferson's so that he can go get the new set of teeth. Aunt's new character furthers the plot because during the trip to Jefferson, he becomes irate with his family members. This anger is a result of the carelessness about Addie's burial from his family's perspective. Yet, Aunts does not actually care about her burial, which displays irony.
In the middle of the story, the plot is further progressed by the dropping of Addie's coffin. When the coffin was lost, the family worked together to save it. After the retrieval of her coffin, Cash explains to the family about how the coffin was not balanced. Cash says, "I'll tell you that it ain't balanced now. We'll need another hand on that hill." The family shows carelessness once again because Cash explains that the coffin was unbalanced. However, the family did nothing to fix the coffin. The family's effort to save the coffin is contradicted by the lack of precaution towards the unbalanced coffin.
Darrell's character changes at the end of the story from the burning of the barn. After the family finds out that Darrell set the cabin ablaze, they start to think he is mentally unstable. Cash states, "Down there it'll be quiet with none of the bothering as such. It'll be better for you, Darrell." Darrell being institutionalized alters the family's view on Darrell and also breaks with the family because of the loss of another family member. Everyone should read this novel because it teaches life lessons about family. This should not be banned because it is a classic novel and opens people's eyes about hardships families face. This novel seriously made me consider writing my own novel about my hardships and my family life. And kill.
What do I do?
What do I do?
Step on it.
Stop on
These are new shoes. I'm gonna step on
I don't have shoes on.
It'll go out. It's fine. Blowing on it'll
Don't
make
put
it
oxygen on
worse.
fire.
Well, it's out.